So you can get yourself set up. You can roll out your yoga mat if you're practicing on a mat, or roll out a towel or a blanket, or just have your area set up if you're practicing on a floor. And just have anything around you that you would like to use in your practice to support your body today. So I often have pillows, rolled up towels or blankets, straps, blocks, and you can use anything. Be creative in your home and use anything to replace those yoga props if you'd like. So instead of blocks, you can use stacks of books or stacks of pillows or boxes. Instead of a strap, you can use a belt or a tie or a scarf, anything that you happen to have handy around your home. Feel free to invite a really nice, calming environment for yourself, so you can always dim the lights. Hi, Yuli, welcome. You can dim the lights with your microphone off. You can also choose to put on a little bit of calming music if that's useful for you. So you can really set the scene for yourself. Thanks for joining us. All right, welcome Michelle, welcome Yuli. Let's slowly get ourselves started. So we're going to come over to our mats to begin, or whatever it is you're practicing on today. And we'll get ourselves started really nice and slowly. I'm just going to take a sip of tea. And let's come down to our mats together really nice and slowly. So we're going to begin on our backs, but we're going to get to our backs, but let's begin standing at the front of our mats to get there. So let's just take a moment to anchor our feet down and just take a little movement. So I often just like to sway a little from side to side, or roll around through my feet, almost like just gently drawing some circles from the edges of your feet to the balls of your feet, to the inside of your feet, to the heels. Just allowing a little bit of settling, so we're more aware and more present with the feeling of our feet grounding us down. And without having to create a yoga shape or be yoga here, just be yoga. Just take a really big stretch. So reach your arms up overhead and just reach. Feel length in your body. You can lift your shoulders up. Anything you want to do with your arms. There may be some side bends, some creaking from side to side, just stretching up. Almost as if you're just getting out of bed, reaching up, creating space. And with an exhale, release your arms and give yourself a little shake out. Maybe shake out the arms, shake out the legs or shoulders. You can even make some shapes with your face, maybe roll through the jaw. I often just like to stick out the tongue and open the mouth, just creating some spaciousness for the jaw there. So let's just take that again. Take a nice big inhale, lift up, create space, lengthen any shapes you want to take. Reaching up. And with an exhale, just shake it out. Let's take that one more time. Reaching up. Stretching almost out of your body. And with an exhale, yes, just like that. My dog just did her little shake out too. Shake it out. All right. And when you are settled from that, just without having to stop anything that you're doing, just drop the head, drop the shoulders, roll through your spine, and just gently sway a little, rock a little, hanging nice and heavy over your legs. And from here, find your way down to your back. So lying on your back. If coming down is a challenge, you can use a chair to support you, or place your hands on something to support you in coming down. And just come down easily. Again, it doesn't have to be a yoga pose. Just come down to your back, how your body would naturally come down. And once you're there, hug your knees into your chest and find a little rocking from side to side. And then allowing yourself here to settle for just a moment. I like to take the soles of the feet together, knees open to the side in Supta Baddha Konasana. You could also let the legs release long or knock the knees in together with the feet out wide. And if you're comfortable, place your hands on your body. So one hand to heart, one hand to belly, or both hands to belly. You can always let the hands rest beside you if that's not comfortable today. And just allow some stillness. And allow the muscles around your eyes to soften. As the gaze softens, perhaps even closing the eyes. Allowing yourself, giving yourself permission here to be still, to be present, and we'll see if we can practice. It's not always easy, but practice just doing less. It can be wonderful and valuable to push ourselves and to challenge ourselves in certain moments. But that can almost become addictive. We always want to strive or push, do, be better. What about the opposite? What if we allowed ourselves more space and time to be instead of doing? If we can practice that, just the more we practice it, we can notice the value that that adds to each and every moment. So seeing if you can keep reminding yourself as we move today, and I'll try to continue to remind you as well. Just find the space between, where we don't have to do as much and we can just allow ourselves to exist, just to be. Feeling the breath filling your belly. Slowly take your feet down with your knees up towards the ceiling and the arms open nice and wide to the side. Gently allowing your knees to drop over to the right. Bring your left hand across your body so your left hand connects to your right palm. Just curl over towards the right side. And then coming back, releasing that left arm to the left side. Bring your knees back to center and drop your knees over to the left. Bring your right hand across your body so your right hand connects to your left palm. Curl over to the left. And nice and slowly open back up, releasing that right arm to the right side. Legs come back through the center. Hug your knees into your chest. Gentle rocks from side to side. And we'll come up to our hands and our knees here. So either roll to the side to bring yourself up or gently rock forward and back on your spine. Come on up to your hands and your knees. Find a tabletop position. Our wrists will be underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Finding a nice inhale here, begin to lift your heart, arch your back. And as you exhale, round your back, tuck your chin to your chest. Keep gently moving back and forth here through these cats and cows. And just move into available space. Allow yourself some time to explore moving in the body. How does it feel? Soften your jaw as you ease your breath. Coming back to a nice neutral spine. Anchor your right palm down. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Open up the chest. And then take that left arm under your right arm, and you can release to your forearm here or to your shoulder. Press your right palm down to roll your right shoulder back. Find space in your belly for breath. Good, let's come back up through to our hands and our knees. Other side, lifting that right arm up, open up your chest. Weave your right arm under your left arm. Release to your forearm or to your shoulder. Press into that left hand to open up your left shoulder. And then nice and slowly ease your way back up through to your tabletop. Walk your hands forward, drop your chest between your shoulders. Keep the hips lifted in a puppy pose. And just perhaps find a little bit of movement there, maybe rocking the hips gently from side to side. Really expansive, full breath. Good. Now let's see if you can keep your forearms down here and press your palms down. Just pull your chest forward, lower your hips down. Organize yourself so your elbows are below your shoulders. Lift your heart forward in a Sphinx pose. Actively pressing the tops of the feet down to support lengthening your tailbone. Open up your chest, your heart. Breathe here. Good. Now from here, take your right arm, weave it under your left arm, and you can stay right here, just slowly thinking about dropping that right shoulder, or drop your right shoulder down. Breathe. And perhaps start to reach your left arm forward. Good, and then bringing that left hand back, you can root your palm down or your fingertips. Bend your left knee and start to lift the left leg, bringing your left toes towards the right side, just gently opening up through the hips. Take that nice and slow. If you'd like, you can even open up the whole body, letting the left shoulder tap towards the right side. And then ease your way back through the center. Reach your left forearm down, really supporting yourself to come back into that Sphinx pose. Lifting your heart forward. And then weave your left arm under your right arm. And you can stay here just exploring dropping that left shoulder down or lower your left shoulder down. And then start to reach your right fingertips forward. Take a moment. And then taking that right hand right down below you, so fingertips down or palm down, bend your right knee, Start to lift your right leg. Take your right toes towards the left side and gently open up. So don't worry if you tumble over, that's okay. It's a lot of momentum bringing you over. If you want to just open up the front of the body a little bit more, go ahead. And then slowly come back through to center. Reach your right forearm down to open into your Sphinx, both forearms down. And then lower down so that we're reaching our arms out nice and wide in a T position. You can keep your head gently lifted here. Try to avoid strain in the neck though. And then we'll bend our left knee, lifting that left leg up, and slowly take your left toes towards the right side. But try to keep both shoulders down this time. Just opening up. And come back through the center to take the other side. So bend your right knee, lift your right leg. Right toes move towards the left side and try to keep both shoulders really nice and heavy there. Just for a moment. And then coming back through the center. Now here, let's root our palms underneath our shoulders. Press your palms down and gently lift your heart forward into a nice low cobra. Lengthening your spine, press the tops of the feet down into the mat. You can stay low or perhaps bring yourself up a little bit higher if the spine feels okay. And you can always stick with Sphinx pose, taking your forearms down, reaching your heart forward in a Sphinx pose if coming up on the palms feels too much. And I'll just remind you, if you haven't been with me, I broke my wrist recently and I just came out of my cast. So I still have a lot of mobility restrictions with my wrist. So there are some things I'm going to be modifying, and you can modify with me or modify to support whatever it is your body is going through today. So I'm going to stick up on my forearms here. So give yourself that permission and that creative energy to adjust and to modify these poses and these shapes. So that's really all they are. Let's slowly lower ourselves back down, and we'll push up through our hands and our knees. Now you have a choice. You can stay in tabletop and move through some cats and cows, or if you'd like, knees as wide or as narrow as you'd like, and send your hips back towards your heels into a child's pose. Not always a resting pose for all of our bodies. So again, you can feel free to modify or adjust. It's wonderful to take a pillow and roll it, or a towel, or roll that blanket, place it behind the knees if you're sensitive back there, and it just lifts you up a little. You can always pad up the backs of the knees by rolling up the back of your yoga mat, or placing a pillow or towel underneath the fronts of the knees. Also for the forehead as well, if the forehead doesn't rest comfortably. Here, let's just take a nice deep breath in and out. Again, giving yourself permission to do less. Recognize the value of that. Rest whenever you'd like. Modify whenever you'd like. There's nothing we really have to achieve here. We're just allowing ourselves some space and time to be in the body. But now if you're in child's pose, come on up into your tabletop position. And again, reach your arms forward, drop your chest between your shoulders and find a puppy pose, finding length in your spine. Feel free to stick with that or root your palms down. Lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. And wherever you are, allow yourself some freedom so you can bend into the knees, pedal out through the feet, sway the hips. Shake out the head. You can roll through the spine a little if you'd like. Just some freedom, feeling your way into the body. Good, and then we're slowly going to start to tiptoe or step your feet forward to your hands. So if your knees are down, gently lift your knees, come on up to your palms. Slowly tiptoe, walk, or step your feet forward to your hands. And take a few moments in a forward fold here. Just find a little bit of freedom again, maybe some swaying. You can shake out the arms, the shoulders.
Good, and then nice and slowly begin at the base of your spine. Start to roll yourself up, allowing your head to come up last. Bringing yourself up to stand. And once you're there, drop your head, drop your shoulders, roll through your spine. Release yourself again into that forward fold. And then find your palms to your shins. Reach your heart forward and lengthen your spine. So a halfway lift here. You can also come to your thighs, or you can use a prop to elevate your hands a little bit more if you'd like. And then with an exhale, gently fold forward over your legs, root your palms down, step your feet back, and find yourself in a plank pose. So feeling free to take your plank from your hands and your feet, or your hands and your knees, or your forearms and your feet, or forearms and knees. Just because we can do a certain pose or shape doesn't mean it's going to be of value for our practice today, remembering that this is not just a practice about poses or shapes or what the body can do. This is a whole body practice. We want to support our minds as well. So breathing here. And then let's lower down to the belly, hands and knees or hands and feet. And find your back bend. So you can stick with me in your Sphinx pose with your forearms down, reaching your heart forward, or take your palms down in a nice low or high cobra, or an upward facing dog if that's within your practice. Pressing the tops of the feet down, lifting the knees up on the palms to open up your chest. Nice big breath in. And as you exhale, slowly release back down. We'll push up through to our hands and our knees. Stay on your hands and your knees, or lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog, or lower your knees, reach your arms forward in your puppy pose. Give yourself options. You don't always have to take downward facing dog just because you can, right? Take a nice deep breath in and out. Nice inhale, lift up onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, tiptoe walk or step your feet forward to your hands. Hang heavy. Let's find our halfway lift. Palms come to the shins, the thighs are a prop. Reach your heart forward. And as you exhale, fold. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up, bring yourself up to stand. And exhale, find Tadasana, mountain pose. So you can keep your feet hip width apart or wider if you'd like, or glue your big toes together, heels a sliver apart. As you anchor down through your feet, find a nice inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, release forward over your legs, hanging nice and heavy. Take a moment there. I just see that something popped up, so I want to make sure everything's okay. Okay, good. Hanging nice and heavy over your legs. Let your head go. Give it a little shake. Good. Now this time, have a softness in your knees. Find a place for your fingertips to be down towards the ground. So that may be on a block for you today, or a couple boxes, whatever's around. And then keep your left fingertips down. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling as you bend into your left knee. So lifting up. Right leg is working towards the direction of straight, but it doesn't have to be visually straight. Left knee is bent. Good. Switching, right fingertips down. Lengthen the left leg as you lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Right knee is deeply bent there. And then nice and slowly come back into that forward fold. Root your palms down, step your feet back, find your plank. Hold your plank there for a moment, wherever you'd like to be. And then lower down to the belly from your hands and your knees, or your hands and your feet. With an inhale, lift your heart forward into your back bend, Sphinx, low cobra, high cobra, or upward facing dog. Exhale, lower down, push up through the hands and knees, stay there, or take down dog or puppy pose. Find a moment to anchor yourself into your breath. Feel the connection through the mat to the earth. Then finding an inhale, lifting those knees if they're down, lift up onto the balls of your feet, step your feet forward to your hands. You can also hop if that's within your practice. Hang nice and heavy. Finding your palms to your shins, reach your heart forward, lengthen your spine as you exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, bring yourself up to stand. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up, lifting. Exhale, wide arms, fold you forward over your legs. Palms come to the shins, lengthen your spine as you exhale, fingertips down. Right arm lifts, left leg bends, right leg lengthens. Find that twist. Release through center, right fingertips down, right knee bends, left leg lengthens, lifting up. Slowly come back through the center. Find another halfway lift. Palms come to the shins, thighs are a prop. As you exhale, fold and step your right leg back behind you. Take a moment to lower your right knee down to your mat. If that back knee needs padding, take it. Double up your mat or place a pillow or towel underneath the knee. The floor feels far away, bring it closer to you. Place your hands up on a prop. Reaching your heart forward, left knee is really nice and stable here. Take your right fingertips or palm down. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Now look up to that lifted arm if it feels okay on your neck. See if you can almost use the mat, use the floor to blossom and create more space. Breathe into that space, soften. Good, then we'll release that top hand down. Now from here, take your left hand to your thigh. We're gonna lift our right arm up towards the ceiling. If you need more support, you can take your right hand to your thigh first, or lift that right arm up, lengthening here. Create lots of length down the side of the body, feeling that in your hip flexor. We'll take a twist towards the left here, so create space. Take your right hand across to your left leg or your elbow across to the outside of your left leg. Now here you can connect at the palms, or you can keep your hand at your thigh and your left hand to your waist. So just move into that available space. Take a nice inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Good, and then exhale, come back through the center. Release your hands down to frame your front foot. Now tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. And what we'll do is we'll switch what's happening with our legs here. So we'll bend our back knee and we'll lengthen our front leg. So gentle bend in the back knee, lengthen the front leg. Come back into that lunge and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Hang heavy. And then when you're ready, step your left leg back behind you. Now again, give yourself some time to set yourself up. Lower that left knee down to your mat. Doubling up your mat or placing a pillow or towel underneath the knee. And feel free to place your hands up on a prop. Reach your heart forward as you lengthen here. And then we'll take our left fingertips or palm down, reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling. Find that spinal twist. Really let that chest break open, create space. Not break open, don't break anything. Good, and then we'll slowly release down. Now from here, take your right hand to your right thigh, and we're gonna lift that left arm up. Again, you can come to your thigh first, or lift that left arm up right away. And as you do so, see if we can feel that length in that left hip flexor, even the left quad there. Breathing. Let's add that twist. So taking your left hand across your body to the outside of your right leg, stay there, or take your elbow to the outside and maybe connect your palms at heart center. Again, you can always stay upright. You don't have to move into space just because it's there. Just move how the body feels like moving. Good, now as we come back through center, take your hands down to frame your front foot, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. And in a fluid movement, bend your back knee, lengthen your front leg. So just switching what's happening there with the legs. And then bend back into that front knee, lengthen the back leg, and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Take a moment, let your head go. Find your palms to your shins, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, root your palms down, step your feet back, find your plank. Again, your variation of plank. Breathing here. Lower down to the belly, hands and knees, or hands and feet, or chaturanga if you practice. And then with your inhale, find your back bend, Sphinx, low cobra, high cobra, or upward facing dog. With your exhale, lower down, push up through the hands and knees. Stay on hands and knees, or take puppy, or lift up and back into downward facing dog. Take a nice big breath. And then we'll take our feet back to our hands. So lift your knees if they're down. Bend the knees, slowly tiptoe, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to your hands. Hang heavy. Find your halfway lift. Palms come to the shins, the thighs are a prop. As you exhale, fold. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up, bring yourself up to stand. And exhale, come on back to Tadasana. Grounding down through your feet, find a nice inhale, lifting up. Big wide arms, open yourself to fold forward over the legs. Palms will come to the shins as you lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold, left fingertips down, right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Deeper bend into your left knee. Switch, right fingertips down, left arm lifts, deeper bend into your right knee. Coming back through the center, one more halfway lift, reach the heart forward. Exhale, step your right leg back behind you. Now let's land on the ball of your right foot as you reach your heart forward. You can always lower that back knee down, and you can also use props. Place your hands on blocks if you like. Left arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Find your twist with your right hand down. Opening up, spread through the fingers, create space. As you release that left hand down, take your left hand to your left thigh. And we'll reach that right arm up. Again, you can bring your right hand to your thigh first. If that's more supported in bringing your torso up, you can take that. Reaching that right arm up, create that space, feel that length. Add your twist. Take your right hand across your body to the outside of your left thigh, or take your elbow to the outside of your left thigh, maybe connecting the palms. Still reaching forward, lengthening out of your waist. Good. Now from here, we're going to lift both arms up overhead, lifting into a crescent lunge. And then pivot your back foot flat and find a warrior two with your front heel lined up with your back arch. Arms open nice and wide, lifting out of our waist. Left knee is tracking over your second toe. And then we'll begin to straighten your front leg as we lift our arms up. Connect your hands at heart center. Bend into your right knee. You may need to adjust that back leg a little bit to accommodate bending into that back knee. And then flex your left toes up towards the ceiling into a variation there of Skandasana. Lifting back up through the center, open back up into your warrior two. And then we'll cartwheel our hands down to meet our front foot. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Front knee is bent, back leg is long. Reach your heart forward. And then switch that. Back knee is bent, front leg is long. And as you come back into that lunge, send your weight into your front foot. Step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Hang heavy. Find your palms to your shins, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, step your left leg back behind you. Now again, landing on the ball of that back foot, but feel free to lower that back knee down where we were before. Give yourself permission. Find your twist. Hands can be on a prop if you like. Right arm lifts up towards the ceiling, opening up. Spread through the fingers, create space. And then take that right hand to your right thigh. And again, we'll lift that left arm up. You can take it to the thigh first if you prefer. As you reach up, create lots of space so we can really enter that twist with spaciousness in our torso. Left hand comes across the body to your right leg. Stay there or hook your elbow, opening up. Maybe connecting at the palms, breathing deeply. Good, now from here we'll lift both arms back up through the center, reaching into a crescent lunge. Straighten your front leg, pivot your back foot flat. Now find warrior two. Front heel lines up with back arch. Right knee is tracking over toes. Left leg is long as we press through the pinky toe side of that left foot. Ribs line up with hips as we lift, settle the shoulders. Then we'll begin to straighten your front leg, bringing your hands to center, bend into your left knee, lift the right toes up towards the ceiling. Find that variation of Skandasana. It may take a little bit of shifting and wiggling. That's okay. We don't have to enter things right away and expect ourselves to be perfect. Good, let's come back through to warrior two, right toes facing the front of the mat. Settle those shoulders. Cartwheel your hands down to meet your front foot. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Your right knee is bent. Your left leg is long. With an exhale, switch. Right leg is long. Left knee is bent. Come back through. Bend back into that front knee. Use that momentum to step yourself forward. Let your head hang. Find your palms to your shins here. Lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold. Left fingertips down. Right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Bend into your left knee. Come back through center. Right fingertips down. Left leg lengthens. Bend into your right knee. Coming back through to center. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, step your right leg back behind you, low, or staying up on the ball of that back foot. Reaching forward here in your crescent lunge. Left arm lifts up with your right hand down. Find your twist. As you release that top hand, take it to your left thigh. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Again, you can use your thigh for support. Find your twist, either hooking the elbow or taking your hand across your body to that left leg. Open up. Coming back through to center, lift both arms up, pivot your back foot flat, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, lift the left toes as you sit yourself back into Skandasana. Come back through to warrior two. Take the hands down to frame your front foot, pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Lengthen your front leg, bend your back knee, toes up towards the ceiling. Come back into that lunge. Step yourself forward. Hang heavy. Find your halfway lift. As you exhale, fold and step your left leg back behind you. Crescent lunge. Left fingertips down, right arm up towards the ceiling. Open up your heart. Take that top hand to your right leg. Left arm lifts up. Open it up. Left arm comes across the body, either to your hand to your thigh or elbow to your thigh. Open up, create space. Both arms lift up overhead just for a moment. Pivot your back foot flat, warrior two. Straightening that front leg, lifting your heel, lifting your toes up on the heels, Skandasana, bending into that left knee. Come back through to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Lengthen your front leg. Bend your back knee. Toes up. Send yourself back into that lunge and step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Hang heavy. Left fingertips down. Right arm lifts up. Deep bend in your left knee. Release, right fingertips down, left arm lifts up, deep bend in your right knee. Coming back through to center, find a halfway lift, reach your heart forward. Exhale, fold, step your right leg back behind you, right fingertips down, left arm lifts up, take your twist. Left hand releases to your left thigh, right arm lifts up. Right arm comes across the body. Find your twist, either hand to thigh or elbow hooks. Both arms lift up through the center, pivot your back foot flat, warrior two. Lengthen your front leg, lift your toes up on your left heel, bend into your right knee, Skandasana. Coming back through to warrior two, bend into that left knee, cartwheel your hands down, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Lengthen your front leg, bend your back knee. Come back into your lunge, step your back foot forward to meet your front foot. Palms come to the shins, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold, step your left leg back behind you. Left fingertips down, right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Right hand releases to your right thigh, left arm lifts up. Left hand comes across the body, hand to thigh or elbow to thigh, opening up. Both arms lift up through the center, warrior two. Ground that down. Lengthen your front leg. Lift the toes up on your heel. Bend into your left knee. Come back through to warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Lengthen your front leg. Bend your back knee. Come back through to that lunge. Step your back foot forward to meet your front foot and hang. Shoulders are heavy. Let your jaw release. Gentle swaying. Allow yourself to be here without having to do. Deeper bend to your knees. Take your time. Start to roll yourself up. As you bring yourself up, lengthen your spine and steady your gaze. Feel the experience of your feet grounding down. You may want to rock a little through your feet. Go right ahead. And then finding some stillness, a little bit of softness. Send your weight into your left foot and play with the idea of lifting your right foot up. And at any point, if it touches down, allow it. What is your reaction? Can we just allow whatever happens to happen? Perhaps you lift your right knee up to about hip height. Perhaps you take your left hand to your right leg, right hand to your waist. Gently rolling your right shoulder back. Stay where you'd like to stay, stop where you'd like to stop. Whatever is interesting, not just necessarily what we can do. If you'd like, reach that right arm back. Keep your gaze forward or turn your gaze to that back hand. Coming back through the center, root your right foot down, take a moment, find some rocking, some swaying. When you're ready, play with the idea of lifting your left foot up. Let it touch down at any point. Maybe you lift your left knee up to about hip height. Maybe you take your right hand across to that left leg. Maybe you take your left hand to your waist and roll that left shoulder back. Perhaps you reach that left arm back. Maybe keeping your gaze forward or turning your gaze towards that back hand. See if you can still breathe. Coming back through center, feel the grounding through your feet, any shifting you want to take. Nice big inhale, lift the arms up, reach, 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 almost lifting out of your body. And exhale, release the arms. Drop your head, roll through your spine, hang heavy. Left fingertips down, left knee bends, right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Stay with this, or if you're comfortable, lower yourself into a squat. Heels in, toes out, lowering the hips. Left arm reaches, right arm lifts. Come back through center. Right fingertips down, left leg long, right knee is deeply bent as we lift that left arm up. And again, stay with this or move into a squat, heels in, toes out, lowering the hips only to the degree that's available. Right arm down, left arm up. Don't worry if the heels are lifted. For many of us, it's just about the flexibility within our ankles or the structure of our bones. So don't put pressure on yourself. Good, releasing, lifting those hips up if they're down. Root your palms down, step your feet back, lower to your knees, lower to your belly. Let your forehead rest. Nice deep breath into the back body. And we'll reach our arms back as we reach through the fingertips, allowing your chest to lift. And maybe the legs lift here as well, maybe not. Whatever happens. Seeing if we can find lots of space for breath. If you'd like to interlace your fingers or hook your thumbs behind your back, go ahead, or you can hold on to a strap or a towel. Lots of fullness in your breath. Lower back down, let your forehead rest. Maybe give your hips a little wiggle from side to side. And we'll just take that one more time. So reach your arms back, lifting your chest, and maybe lifting the legs, maybe hooking the fingers. Sometimes it's nice if your shoulders need a little bit of space. You can hold on to a strap or towel between the hands, giving your shoulders that space they may really like. Good, let's lower back down. Push up through to your hands and your knees. And again, you have a choice. Cats and cows in tabletop position, or breathe your hips back in child's pose if that's an available pose for you today. Just let that spine settle and decompress. You can really imagine the breath filling the back body. So you can almost imagine any part of your body as lungs, right? Not just the lungs. Sometimes I like to imagine the lungs in the low back, really expanding, creating space. Good. We're slowly going to bring ourselves into a pigeon pose. Now I'm going to give you options as we move through pigeon pose. So if it doesn't work for you today, don't worry. There'll be alternate poses that you can choose to take. Let's move into a downward facing dog to move into our pigeon just for a moment. Pull your right knee towards your right wrist and lower that right leg down, extending your left leg back behind you. If that right hip is lifted, roll up a pillow or towel or a blanket and place it under your hips so the hips are level. And you can stay upright here or fold forward. You can let your forehead rest on that soft pillow or the backs of your hands if that's available, or you can be up on your forearms. If that's not working for you, deer pose is a beautiful option, or 90-90. So bending your knees in a 90-90 position, right knee forward, left knee back, lifting up. You can stay upright, or you can tilt forward into a forward fold, or you can take figure four. Take your right ankle on your left thigh, rotating your right hip open. Stick with that, or come down to your forearms or to your back. So just find the availability where you'd like to be. Just finding your relationship to gravity so that you can get a little opening for your hip. They're all sort of doing the same thing, almost the same pose, just a different relationship to gravity. A nice deep breath here. If you're in pigeon and you would like for your last few breaths, you can add a little spinal twist. So rooting your right palm down, weave your left arm under your right arm, just like we did in our table and in our crocodile pose. If you'd like, you can lower that left shoulder down and maybe lift your right arm up and weave it behind you. Sometimes we wood bug or we potato bug a little bit out of this. We roll over. That's okay. Just bring yourself back. Sort of a weirdness I discovered when I moved to Ontario. In BC, we call potato bugs wood bugs. Or maybe that was just my family, I don't know. And then when I moved to Ontario, I noticed everybody was calling them potato bugs. Just as cute here as they are there. Let's come back to center and we'll take the other side. So if you're taking a variation, you can switch to the other side. If you're in pigeon, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee and take your front foot to meet your back foot. And then bring your left knee to meet your left wrist. Lower that leg down. Extend your right leg nice and long behind you. Again, if you notice that left hip is lowering down, place a soft pillow, roll that blanket. If you have a soft block, those are great. Or sometimes even a foam roller. Just anything to elevate yourself. Stay upright or fold forward. Or again, for those modifications, again, if you want to take a 90-90, it's often sometimes my preferred variation. So knees and ankles in line, lifting up, bringing yourself forward, only if that's available. Or figure four, taking your left ankle on your right thigh, and just bring that leg as close or as far away from your body as you'd like to. You can stay up on your hands in your figure four, or come down to your forearms, or come down to your back and thread the needle. Wherever you are, just allowing yourself some space to breathe and be with the sensations you feel. If you're in pigeon and you want to add that twist for your final few breaths, take your right arm, weave it under your left arm, lower your right shoulder down. And from there, if you'd like, you can lift your left arm up and release it behind you. And again, if you roll out a little, that's okay. Just bring yourself back. That's really the idea behind these practices, is when we come out, can we bring ourselves back? Can we bring ourselves back, continuing to bring ourselves back whenever we're lost? That's what we're practicing, more than just staying stuck in a pose. It's more important to practice having the ability to forgive ourselves, to have a sense of humor. Whatever happens, happens. Just come back. Let's come on back up through center. And we're going to come up to a seated position. So if you're in pigeon, just roll to the side, sweep your leg forward. Any other pose that you're in, just slowly bring yourself up in the easiest way possible. Come on up to sit on something. So I'm going to roll up my blanket here and sit up on something. You can roll up the back of your yoga mat if you'd like. And just extend the legs nice and long in front of you. From here, bend your right knee, pull your right knee into your chest, rotate your right hip open so the sole of the foot is on the inside of the thigh or the calf. Take your fingertips behind you as you lift out of your waist here. Now you can stay right here, or if there's some availability, tilt yourself forward. Stop where you'd like to stop. Stay where you'd like to stay. You can also take a strap, wrap it around the ball of your foot to extend the length of your arms if you'd like. Take a moment to really lengthen out of your waist. And stay with this or add a little twist. Take your right hand across to the outside of your left leg or foot and open your left arm up towards the back. Come back through the center. And let's come on up. Let's take the other side. So extend your right leg, bring your left knee in, rotate your left hip open, sole of the foot to the inside of your thigh or your calf. Take your fingertips behind you and just remind your body of the space that's there. Create the space, breathe into the space, stay there, or perhaps tilt yourself forward. And again, maybe having the hands beside you or on your body. Straps are beautiful here, depending on sometimes the dimensions of our body. Some of us have shorter arms or longer legs compared to that of our arms. So just because you are not reaching your foot doesn't mean that you're not finding the pose. Stay here or take your twist. Take your left hand across to the outside of your right leg or foot and open up that right arm towards the back. Good, come back through to that forward tilt. And then nice and slowly, let's come back up through to center. Give your legs a little shake out, any movements there you'd like to take. And then come on down to your back. I'm gonna grab my socks because I'm getting kind of chilly. You can put on any socks or sweaters you'd like to put on. And then come on down to your back. Hug your knees into your chest as you give your knees a good little squeeze, a few little rocks from side to side. Finding your arms in a nice wide T position beside you here. Drop your knees over to the right, hips shift to the left. Feel free to keep your knees stacked here or cross your top knee over your bottom knee. Feel free to place pillows or towels underneath any part of your body that would like support or softness. Ease your way back to center and take the other side. Hip shift to the right, knees drop to the left. Shoulders fall heavy. Feel free to keep your knees stacked or cross your top knee over your bottom knee. Supporting yourself with any pillows or softness. Simply breathing into your body. Good, nice and slowly come back through the center and prepare for your final posture, Savasana. So if there are any socks or sweaters, again, that you would like to put on, go right ahead. I'm going to do so. And then find the most comfortable position for your body to rest in today. Perhaps a corpse pose, legs extended, arms extended, eyes closed. Or Supta Baddha Konasana, taking the soles of the feet together, knees open to the side. Or constructive rest, taking the feet to the outside of your yoga mat, knees knock in at center. Or you can lie on your side in a fetal position, or lie on your belly or on your bed or couch. Give yourself some space to find stillness and ease. There's nothing you have to do here. Just breathe. relaxing your toes and your feet, your legs and your hips, your belly and your chest, your shoulders and your arms, your hands and your fingers, releasing some tension in your neck, in your jaw, the space between your eyebrows, your forehead, and rest. And slowly begin to bring a greater awareness to your body and the space around you. Perhaps invite your breath to deepen, feeling free to invite some movement back to the body, maybe some rocking, maybe some swaying, maybe wiggling fingers, toes, or taking a stretch. And from there, in the easiest way possible, gently bring yourself up to a nice, comfortable seated position. We will end our practice together today. Finding a place for your hands to rest comfortably, maybe beside you or on your body, perhaps one hand to heart, one hand to belly, or both hands at heart. Just take a moment to bow the head. Remind yourself to give yourself space and time whenever you can today. Thank yourself for taking the time to practice. And I thank you for sharing your practice with me. Stay well. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was lovely as always to be with you, and I hope to see you again soon. You can always let me know if you have any questions or sharings. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next week.